Ha, we here. Big fish shit. Ooh, ooh. Welcome to the podcast. Hope y'all enjoy it. Hope y'all learn something. And most importantly, we hope y'all elevate. Let's get it.
Big fish, hit a big lick. We gon' bet it right back and hit a big flip. We been up for a minute and we still lit. Get them cats gon' talk, but we don't feel shit. We just giving y'all gems y'all can live with. Elevate your mind, never mind all the bullshit. Finna talk about stocks, we ain't worry about ops. First get the bread up, then buy back the whole block. 10 toes down, we ain't never gonna stop. I'm a man of my word, I ain't never gonna flop. If I said it, then I meant it. Real ones gon' respect it, and it's still OG. It's in me, I represent it.
Ooh, ooh. All right, we're back. Big Fish Podcast. Got some big fish shit for y'all today. So, earlier today I was at the gym, was having a conversation with my dog, Tafari, and we got on the topic of sports and pushing our kids into sports and where that leads them in the end. So, I'm fully preparing y'all right now. A lot of y'all aren't going to like what I'm going to say. Kids and parents, maybe parents more. Stop pushing your kids in sports. Stop pushing them. I'm talking to my black parents. Stop pushing your kids with sports. And now let me kind of explain what I mean by that. Let me tell you a story. 2015, we were doing a program, Kings and Queens. A lot of the kids then were in middle school. Now they're going to college or in college. And I remember sitting down with them. They were all from Montclair. I knew a lot of them since they were probably 4 or 5 years old. And I told them, I said, none of y'all are going to the league. I said, y'all put most of y'all focus on sports and football. None of y'all are going to the league. And I kid you not. I said it just like that. I felt that I owed them, that was my duty to tell them that. Because truth be told, if you look at the numbers, 99.999999% of them are not going to the NFL. It's almost like playing the lottery. It's like getting up every day, practicing to run to 7-Eleven to go buy a lottery ticket. And that's your strategy to become successful in life. And you're probably thinking, oh, that's harsh. Well, you made it to the NFL. You did. I got lucky. Both from a circumstance position, from having the support system. And it's so funny how you only concentrate on how it ended up. You don't really look at, and I'm sure that the kids that I was talking to, they weren't even old enough, if they were alive, to even remember, in high school, I didn't have any scholarships, had to go to prep school, had to turn down the couple colleges that I did get into just for an opportunity, nothing guaranteed, to try to get a scholarship because I felt that I was worth a scholarship. And I felt that if I'm going to put my life on the line, my body on the line, my brain on the line, you damn well I'm going to get my education paid for. There's no way I'm going to your school, playing football, putting my life and health on the line and my well-being, not only for while I'm in college, but we've all heard about the CTE stuff. I'm talking about for the rest of your life. So here you are putting your... All right, let's get back to topic. Hold on. So as I'm talking to the kids, telling them this, a couple of them started crying. They stormed out. They weren't talking to me. And I didn't care. I loved those kids. So I couldn't care. I had to tell them the honest truth, because if they don't prepare for something else, and it can't be your plan B. Football is your plan B. I know people like to say, you're not putting enough tension on your plan A if you have a plan B. That's bullshit. If your plan A is football, then you need to have something else that you're putting more time and energy into, because just the numbers. And why would you bank on something where literally you can have one injury and then everything is gone? Everything. And it doesn't even have to be an injury playing football. And I didn't feel like I wasn't trying to crush anybody's dreams. And I probably told them one person. I said, out of all of y'all in this room, one person has an opportunity, and even they probably won't make it because they're too short at their position. That's just the reality of it. Now, fast forward, people are where they are. The one kid that I said had the best opportunity, he's probably in the best possible position to try to make a run at the NFL. So I don't want to throw any names, but why did I tell them that? And it's because I'm tired of, our people, our parents, telling the kids, oh, you could do this. Stop trying to live vicariously through your kids. You could make it to the NFL. You could, if you showed that kid that same energy into something else other than sports, especially other than basketball and football, into becoming an attorney, becoming a scientist, becoming a surgeon, becoming a banker, opening up their own business, if they put that time and energy, if they put a quarter of that time and energy into things that you're more likely to be successful at and have a better chance of doing better for yourself in the long run, then that's the change. That's how you get to success. It's not that we don't work hard. We just work hard in the wrong areas. Think about it like this. 99% and 1%. 99% of us, when we're pushing our kids, we're pushing them to do something that less than 1% of them will even have a chance and get the opportunity to be successful in. 99% of us, we're pushing our kids. It's like everybody's pushing their kids to be successful in things that they have a 1% chance of actually even getting a tryout for, let alone making a team. And then if you make a team, the chance, the average career is what, less than 3 years? So you're going to invest 20 years, as in something, put all your eggs in this basket, your priority, into something that you might get paid for 3 years. And then you're going to spend the next 3 years after that trying to get back. So when you make whatever money you're making over those next 3 years, or the first 3 years that you're playing, if you're lucky, you could be on practice squad, you could be active, you could be on IR, because that happens in the NFL. The amount of money you're making is peanuts compared, because then you're going to be tied up for the next 10 years. I've seen it. I'm just talking about stuff that I've seen. You're going to be tied up for the next 10 years. Then you're going to have to spend the next 3 to 5 years when you finally give up trying to transition into the next phase of life. Now you're starting at 35, 30. If you're lucky, if you had a long run, where others, they started at 22, 23 as soon as they got out of college. So now you're behind the real game, the game of life. So I wasn't trying to bash any dreams. And truth be told, if you're the type of kid that's going to make it to the NFL, then me telling you that you're not is not going to affect you. Matter of fact, it is going to affect you. It's going to motivate you. It's going to inspire you. How do I know? Because that's what it did to me. I had plenty of people. I had people telling me, you can't start in high school. I had my prep school coach sit down. William & Mary coach came in. He was recruiting me. My prep school coach, I don't know how he felt about my talent. I felt like he would hate on me when I first got there, wouldn't let me play defense. He put me at quarterback. He was favoring his other players. That's neither here nor there. And be clear, I was the best player on the team. Just to be clear. And he sat down with me and the coach of William & Mary, the scout, and the William & Mary scout, Coach Boone, my dog, Coach Boone. He wrote 4.55 on a piece of paper. And he said, will he ever run that, a 40-yard dash? My coach said, I don't know about that. I don't know if he'll be able to run that in college. I was appalled. I was disgusted. I felt so disrespected by my coach. But you know what? It didn't bother me in a way where I sulked and I was like, oh, I'm never going to make it. That motivated me, inspired me. Matter of fact, and you can ask Coach Boone, you can verify this with Coach Boone. I turned to Coach Boone and I said, I don't know what he's talking about, but we can go outside and I'll run that right now. Coach Boone just looked at me. And my prep school coach, He looked at like puzzled, like he was confused. And Coach Boone said, "No, I think I heard everything that I need to hear." A week later, I had a scholarship offer. So I only bring that up to make the point that if you, the type of kid, like what it's going to take, the mindset of people that make it to the league, they don't care if you tell them that they can't make it. They don't hear it. If anything, they only hear it like you hear about Michael Jordan making up stories, negative stuff just to motivate him. That's going to be motivating. If what I said crushed a certain kid, that kid wasn't going to make it anyway. And I just saved him from investing so much time and energy into something that wasn't going to pan out the way that he wanted. So therefore, if I crushed his dream, then hopefully I inspired him to put that time and energy into something else. Maybe becoming an attorney, maybe looking into another sport that you're more likely to get a scholarship at. Because it's tough to get a scholarship in basketball or football. Only a few get a scholarship. People think it's the cool thing to just say, "Oh, I'm going to get a scholarship," because we see it on TV all the time. Cats have no idea what it takes to get to the NFL or the NBA or the Major League Baseball. You have no idea. The first thing you need is fortune and good luck. As somebody who got there, you need luck. You need luck. What do I mean by luck? And you still got to bust your ass. But what do I mean by that? Let me give you another story. I remember sitting in a meeting. I was going into my second year with the Colts. My first year, I busted up my shoulder. And the Coach Allen Williams, he was writing on a board, and he went to William Mary, which you would think like, oh, cool, we got the William Mary connection. No, it was the opposite. He was harder on me. I feel like he was harder on me, like, whatever. It is what it is. So I remember him writing on a board. He had 1 through 12, and then it was like 12A, 12B. And on the board was every single safety's name ranked where we are right now. Because I missed a year before, matter of fact, even my dog Joe LaFedge, he had just came in as a rookie, free agent. He was above me on that list. I'm looking at this list like, damn, I'm at the bottom of this shit. Like, oh, I've been telling everybody at the crib I'm finna make this team. Like, oh. And I remember just sitting there looking at it like damn. And coach said, we looking for 3 safeties, definitely, maybe 4. So I had to change my whole mindset. So it didn't discourage me. I just made it up in my mind where I was going to be a different type of person than I had ever been on the field. See, I never had to be an asshole on the field. In high school, my talent took care of itself. I was a dog on the field, but I never had to be an asshole. In college, same thing. Played pretty early compared to the rest of my classmates that came in with me. But then I realized, like, these dudes is just as fast or faster. They just as strong. Maybe not just as strong, but they're strong. They taller, some of them you could say are better than me. I never thought that just because that's my mindset. But I knew that I had to turn into an asshole. And I know I'm getting a little bit off topic, but I want y'all to stick with me. I'm going to connect everything, as we go along. But I realized, I said, I got to change my whole, energy, perspective, outlook, mindset towards this. I said, I'm about to be an asshole. I felt disrespected. And, I probably, truth be told, I probably should have been down there. But I still felt disrespected. So I channeled all that energy, and that preseason, that whole preseason was like my Super Bowl. I was the kid in practice that I don't care if you ran past me. I'm going to run until you stop running, and I'm going to get in front of you, turn around, and hit you. I was hitting everything moving. That was my whole energy. I remember Coach Caldwell pulling me to the side and saying, after the first week, there was no scrimmages or anything, but we were a couple days away from the game, the first preseason game. And he said, hey, Caldwell. We had the same last name. I always joke around and say we cousins. I said, hey, Caldwell, we've been seeing you fly around, looking forward to seeing how you do in the game. Game came, I had that same asshole energy. I was hitting everything moving. That preseason, by the third preseason game, I was starting. Went from 12B on that list to starting in the third preseason game. And I could sit here and act like, yo, it's because I just was a dog. I outdogged everybody. Nobody was fucking with me. That's just the energy I was coming with. It might have been a little bit of that, but I was fortunate. I was lucky. You want to know? Because a couple guys got injured in front of me. Now, all of what I'm talking about being a dog, that came out when you get the opportunity. But to get the opportunity, I had to get lucky. I had to be fortunate my luck is somebody else's bad luck. That's what happens in sports. Like somebody else gets injured in front of you, you got an opportunity. It's either going to make or break you. Luckily, I was able to capitalize on mine. Led the preseason in tackles that year. And I'm saying all that to say if nobody got injured before me, then I probably wouldn't got cut. Not for anything that I fucked up on, but just because I didn't necessarily have an opportunity to show my skills, to show my talent, to show like how I was going to come if they give me an opportunity. So, and I saw countless other players. Now, I know I just said that, I've always thought that I was better than everybody. All right. Let me give you a reality check, or give myself a reality check, I should say. And this is going to be hard because I told you this is my mindset. I really believe if I'm committed to something, nobody's fucking with me. That's my mindset. There were players more talented. There were players the next year that were more talented. Rookies coming in. And I saw them not even get an opportunity. They didn't get an opportunity where a couple guys got hurt, where they were able to show the ball bounce this way. A lot of guys that were better than you go to a preseason and there's guys on the sideline better than the starters. There's guys who never going to even get an opportunity, just camp bodies. They're better than the starters. Now, fortunately, or I should say unfortunately, maybe how you look at it, we had Antoine Bethea and Bob Sanders. So I don't know if that still holds, but I'm sure they would understand exactly what I'm getting at. It's about opportunity. So going back to when I told the kids, you're not going to make it to the league, it's because I don't want them putting all their eggs in this basket. Because the hardest thing to do is to change. So you put all your eggs in one basket with football, then you don't get a scholarship. Where do those kids end up? Because they weren't necessarily concentrating on classes. They weren't using football. Football was using them. You're supposed to use football. See, football, we look at football as a means to an end. Football is not a means to an end. Football is a means to another means that can hopefully lead to an end. And that's how I always looked at football. I didn't think that I would have a 12-year career, make millions, and retire. I just didn't, Maybe that's why I didn't. I don't know. But I always looked at it as, this is just a stepping stone. This is just going to catapult me. I play in the NFL for a couple years. However, I'm going to use this in the next phase of my life for the next 50, 60, however, 70, 80, 100, however long I live. I'm going to use this for the rest of my life. And I'm going to leverage this. See, that's the smart bet. Use football. Don't let football use you. So when I see parents, and to be totally honest, if your kid's not a standout, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, you can complain the coach ain't shit, the coach ain't this. Your son might just not be good. Your son might, and just if your son is good, or your daughter is good, that doesn't mean shit. A lot of good players don't get scholarships. And it's almost worse when the good players don't get scholarships because they're crushed. Now they weren't focusing on their grades. So therefore, now they don't know if they can go to college. They've been looked at for 4 years in high school as that guy. And now it's almost like a PTSD effect to where it's like, oh my God, something that I was a part of. I was the man, And now it's snatched away from me. Here I thought I'd be going to college, then going to the NFL, living an amazing life, making a lot of money playing football, doing what I love. And then it's just snatched away from you. And now it's very hard to transition. That's one of the hardest things you ever will have to do when you're used to doing something for 15 years and now you got to transition into something else and apply even more energy and more effort and more focus into something else because it's something new. It's something different for you. And now you're competing with cats. It would be like now you're competing with a new set of people in a different sport called life, to where they've been prepared for, because they didn't put their eggs in the football or basketball basket. They were always preparing for life. So therefore, now they're ahead. They're up 50 on you. And now you got to scramble. And sad to say, most people give up because they see the odds as insurmountable. They feel it as something that they can't overcome. And you see a lot of it in our black kids. And what do we end up doing? We end up just hanging around, trying to do what's cool. And it's always like that damn homie in high school. He was the man. Homie, fuck happened to you? That's real. You see cats who had all the athletic talent in the world. And it's sad. You go back home and it's like, damn, bro. Like, older cats, you were my hero. You were my hero. Forget looking up to Mike. Forget looking up to your favorite football player. Nah, bro. I was looking, especially a town like Montclair, you looking up to your big bros. Like, and now you see your big bros and it's like, damn. Or you see kids your age and it's like, bro, like, you were just as talented or more talented than me. What happened? And it's because we put our energy and effort into something that's like playing the lottery. It's not because we're not good enough. It's just, if you put that same effort and energy into becoming an attorney, business person, surgeon, you're going to succeed. So my energy would be totally different if I was sitting in front of those kids and they said, I want to be a surgeon. I want to be a banker. I want to own my own business. I want to be an architect, be a mechanic, be a plumber. I would have said like, yo, y'all going to get that. All you have to do is focus up, study, lock in, and it'll happen. See, that's the problem with our culture. Every other culture, they put all their eggs in baskets that are more likely for them to succeed in the long run. They're not working harder to become a surgeon than we are working harder to become an NFL player or NBA player. They're just in a field where probably they're just more likely to succeed. And it's a much longer career. You can study, you can be an attorney for the rest of your life. You can be a mechanic for how long? You could be a surgeon for how long? You could be a banker for how long? You could be a business owner for how long? And now once you do it, now your kids are going to see it as something where it's like, oh no, that's the cool thing to do. You don't got to just play sports to make it. There's actually avenues that you can make it even bigger. You can make more money doing something else. And you have a greater chance of doing it. And now that your kids see it, so now we're looking at other cultures where one of my closest doctor friends, his dad's a doctor. His dad's a surgeon. They operate together. So you're telling me that that's just coincidence? But here in our community, it's more like, oh, my dad almost made it. I'm going to make it. No, you're not. No, you're not. And I'm not trying to crush dreams to be an asshole. I have no bitterness towards the NFL. Well, for this particular thing, I should say. Definitely some bitterness. But for this particular, I have no bitterness. That's not why I'm saying it. I have no bitterness to me getting cut. I'm doing well. I'm good. But I'm only good. I realized that I'm an exception because I had an exceptional support system and exceptional circumstances to where my parents never pushed me to play sports. My parents didn't know anything about football. I played football by accident. I didn't even care about football. I liked basketball and baseball. We went to drop off my brother at football practice or to sign up for football, and I just happened to be there with my mom, and Coach Finney's wife asked me like, hey, what about the other one? And I'm looking around like, nah, I don't play no football. Like, I play basketball. So I looked across at Edgemont at the park, saw some of my friends out there, and I was like, all right, I guess so. But it was never my main thing. My parents always told me, like, first and foremost, you're getting great grades. You bring a low B or a C home, and you're not playing in that game. Because the standard was set higher for me. It was more important for me to do well in the books than on the field. If I had a bad game on the field or on the court, my parents would tell me, but they didn't care as far as if compared to if I brought a C home. Because they knew I could do better. They knew if I set my mind to it, I could do better, just like most kids. If you can understand a playbook, if you can understand a football play, the concept of a football play, and know that, okay, boom, if this guard pulls, I'm going to meet him. Or, okay, boom, I'm playing halves. If the quarterback's looking at, if you can read your keys in football, you can do extremely well in school. It's very simple. And in school, you don't have to do it while you're running around chasing somebody. Like, so I don't want to hear that, oh, I'm just smarter at football. No. That's just what you apply yourself to. That's what you try at. That's what you've been exposed to. That's all you know. But we have to stop putting all of our eggs. We celebrate too many lottery winners. LeBron James is a lottery winner. If I came out like LeBron and had a 6'8" in high school or 8th grade, you know, I could. Most kids, if they had LeBron's body, then yeah, go play basketball. But most people aren't built like LeBron. Making it to the NFL or the NBA is winning the lottery. So we can't only just celebrate lottery success. We don't hold up lottery winners. You won the Mega Million. You're a successful person. No, you got lucky. But what makes me mad is the level of commitment that I saw my little homies putting in to football. They would practice on their own. You know, when I was still playing, I meet them at the park. They'd already be there getting right and would still be there after I leave. They had the work ethic. They just were applying it in an area that it was not likely for them to become successful in. So I asked my boy Tafari, I said, yo, how many years you put in boxing? He said, a lot. I said, how much money did you make with boxing? He said, not a lot. And he actually made it. He made it to the Olympic trials. Most of us don't even make it that far. So if you're putting all that time, effort, energy, and focus, blood, sweat, and tears into something, and your return on your investment is not likely to match up, then that's a bad investment. It's not you that you're bad. It's not that you're trash. It's not that. It's just that we're choosing the wrong areas to focus on. Now, if your kid is exceptional, and I don't want to take away from the tools and skills that come with sports. That's why we should be playing sports, to develop that discipline, that self-determination, working with others, seeking recognition. That's a positive thing. All of these things, dealing with adversity, problem solving. Play sports. Like I said, use sports to develop those tools and skills, because those same tools and skills, that's what's going to give you an advantage in life over kids that may not have played sports. However, you have to understand that they have an advantage in other areas, because while you're not putting time and energy into stuff that they may be putting in because you're playing sports, you got to understand you're going to be at a disadvantage. So you got to rely on those tools and skills. You got to push your advantages and rely on those. However, you do have to play. You have to put a large emphasis, your biggest emphasis, on the books. You want to get a scholarship, get good grades. That's how you get a scholarship. I didn't say anything about being good. I didn't say run a 4.3. I didn't say any of that. Get good grades. Most kids don't get scholarships because they don't have the grades, not because they're not talented enough. So either way, you have to focus on the books. And the type of cat that makes it to the NFL or the NBA, at a young age, I knew that nobody could tell me anything. You could check my elementary yearbook, middle school yearbook, high school yearbook. I knew what I was going to do. I was going to become a professional athlete. When I was younger, I said I'm going to play in the Major League Baseball. I said I'm going to play in the NBA and the NFL. I got 1 out of 3. I got lucky. Lucky to get 1 out of 3. I want to make that very clear. But you know what type of kid you got. My parents knew that I was different as far as my mindset. That's what type of person makes it to the NBA or the NFL, because that's the less than 1%. You got to think different. You got to move different. You got to sacrifice different. So therefore, going back to that example where I told them kids, you're not going to make it, I didn't feel bad, because I knew that the type of kid that is going to make it, that's only going to push him to grind harder, give him a better opportunity to make it if he decides to go forth with it. The other kids, like, you can still keep playing, but shit, you need to understand, like, you need to put some of your effort and energy into something else. So I want us as leaders, as parents, as uncles, in our community, we got to stop pushing this sports shit. If you're going to push sports shit, show that kid to lacrosse. Teach him tennis. Teach him fencing. Teach him all these things that he can get scholarships in sports-wise, to where it's easier, because you're just using it. It's just a tool. It's just a tool to use. Like, it's not a means to an end. It's a means to a means that will hopefully lead to an end. All right? And I hate to labor on this, but it's so important, and I would feel real shitty if I didn't talk about it, because I feel like not enough of us do talk about it. We just celebrate the 1 out of 1,000 that makes it and act like the other 999, just like, oh, you didn't work hard enough. No. It's not that. You're setting yourself. You would never say, like, yo, you didn't win the lottery? You didn't play enough. You didn't work hard enough. You didn't buy enough tickets. No, it's the fucking lottery. It's luck. So we got to start putting our effort and energy into stuff that is not luck-based, but it's based on your drive, based on all the things that these little kids exhibit through sports, but they got to apply it to something outside of sports. So I know I kind of went a little bit all over the place, but I just wanted to kind of bring everything together so you can kind of understand the big picture, rather than just coming on here and saying, fuck sports. That's not what I'm trying to say. Use sports. Don't let sports use you. And when you use sports, your eggs are not all in that sports basket. You have to. I understand that it's not fair. I understand that you may not have the support system, that you may not have the same resources, but you have to do it. It's necessary. It's necessary to achieve success. It's necessary to do it so that way when you're looking at your kids, you can tell them what you did instead of just telling them what to do. Because there's a difference between telling a kid you should do this and telling a kid, I did this. This is how it worked out. You should do the same. All right? Let me know what y'all think. Big fish shit.